imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Total Protonic Reversal.
Protonic Reversal.
Protonic Reversal with your host, Conan Neutron. Broadcasting from a secret underground lair in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
A gigantic middle finger to everything that is rotten about music, rock and roll, and corporate power.
The thing is, though, if you don't laugh, you're going to go on a killing spree with sharpened nails.
Confidence of a hero or a fool. I wasn't exactly certain which.
Could not be more professional.
It's only one I choose to devote my life to. That's okay.
It means something. It means something.
And take that away.
You know, that's my take on it. What's yours?
Protonic Reversal.
That's like a science thing, right?
Indeed it is. The science thing is a science place, is a scientific fact that we're all up in your face. It's time once again for the one, the only Protonic Reversal. Welcome to it. Winter edition, Protonic Reversal. That's right. I'm gonna be deep in it this winter, and by in it I mean multiple sets of socks. Everybody, socks. Thank you. This is gonna be a good one. It's been a long time since I've talked to this fellow last, and we're going to be getting into it very soon, talking to Mr. J.D Pinkus. But it's been a while, and I didn't realize how much of a while it had been. So a lot has transpired since then. Excited to get into all of it. Before we do any of that, though, I should say welcome to Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. I'm your host, Conan Neutron. I'm a rock and roll lifer. It's been touring and recording for 25 years, most known for the band Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends. Music is a huge part of my life, and I use the format of this very long-running podcast. Talk about music with musicians whose work I enjoy and respect, but who may not be household names. Now, this is episode 445. Now, if it's your first time listening to the show, archives of it are available for free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding, at protonicreversal.com. However, if you want to support the show and get at those episodes sooner, $1 a month at patreon.com/protonicreversal achieves that goal. And if you like the show, even just a single episode, please feel free to like, subscribe on your platform of choice, share it around on the internet, even leave a review. All that helps people discover the show. It beats back the almighty algorithmic overlords. It's just a darn nice thing to do. Very good, very good. So, no more Secret Friends activities for this year. It's done, but I gotta say, I had a great birthday. I played with Mr. Mike Watt. That was freaking awesome. Saw lots of people, folks came out of the woodwork, fans of the band, fans of the show, Cosmic Kitten as well. Really great. Good times. That's done. Good times are over. We're on Protonic time now. No, of course, the good times are not going to continue. There's going to be a lot more Protonic Reversal episodes this month than there were in the past two. So people that were wondering why things slow down, that's why. It's really easy to find out. Just look on the internet. Anyway, very excited to have this guy back. You know, you may know him from Butthole Surfers, Melvins, Honky, Daddy Longhead. So much great music. Of course, his own wonderful solo records, Space Banjo, I believe it's called. I am so pleased to bring back Pinkus, J.D Pinkus. Welcome back to the show. You and your mutt there.
Yeah. You might have to blur out his lower end. I'm sorry about that.
I was going to say, we're already getting the censors are already on the call. Yeah,
sorry about that, man. He needed a little attention, man. You know.
Can I tell you that I sometimes when I feel like it, I simulcast the show live on Twitch, and Twitch is like, you need to change this title. I'm like, what are you talking about? Butthole Surfers is what they're talking about. I'm like, oh, really? Or Honky. Actually, it could be either. It could be one of them.
Honky is more offensive than Butthole Surfers nowadays.
Yeah, I don't know. And I was just like,
my old man Areola 51. I mean, everyone's got one. No one knows how to spell it, but even the word areola freaks people out.
I forgot about Areola 51. Yeah,
it's easy to forget about. Like you said, not exactly a household name.
Love it though. It's been so long. I hadn't realized it had been so long since you've been on. Like, we weren't doing video. I'm using the royal we. Like, what is it? Me and the raccoon in my pocket. We're not doing video at that moment in time. And yeah, appreciate you putting it together for all the video fans as well. But that was September 2018. So that was 7 years ago.
I was sitting smoking a joint on Dale and Mo's backyard picnic table when I was out there doing some stuff with the Melvins fellas. And yeah, that was when we talked. And you're right, there was no video whatsoever.
Yep, and people like it. And I honestly, I did it for a while, and I didn't even record it. Like the thought that someone wanted to see it never occurred to me. I was like, oh,
yeah, I was surprised you were doing video on this one too, because obviously I've got that classic face made for radio. But that's why I got my cute dog on here. He's got a slight case of progeria, just like me.
Oh.
He's only 2 years old. He's great at he's 7. But yeah, both of us, like, we got the slight case of progeria. I looked like I was 15 when I was 12, and then I looked like I was 21 when I was 17, and now I'm 35.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. Close to that, anyways.
Yeah, it's a 5 in it.
But yeah, it's just aging just a little bit quicker than most other people, man.
Oh well, it's good you got company. I'm excited to be talking to you, man. I gotta say, like, I hadn't realized so much stuff had happened, because last time we talked, Keep on the Grass had just come out.
That was that year, I think.
That was that year, yeah. So, and I saw you do that. Well, I saw you in Madison, and you had. Man, I gotta tell you, I'm normally a pretty quick study, but I was like, why does he have these pairs on the?
At least you knew they were
on the
pairs,
stage,
because most people think they are a direct correlation to my testicles and what they're hanging at this point in time, because they don't know I have an album called Grow a Pair.
Would you know you did a record called Grow a Pair? Yeah.
So I just had that last time you saw me in Madison. Big shout out to Madison, because what a cool town that is.
High Noon, great venue. Love that place.
Probably a little cold right now. So
I guarantee you, yes. But that was kind of a long time in the gestation process, right? It was about like 5 years or so, and now my understanding is that, like, that was potentially, there was maybe going to be a new Butthole Surfers thing at a certain point. Am I
correct. Right? Me and Paul both started on what was to be the album Never to Be, and his solo album was a lot of the stuff he was going to throw that way, and my stuff was stuff I was going to throw that way. There were other things that were tried out that did not make it out. Gibby, he had some ideas, but he was doing a synthesizer, which I thought a great name for a band would be the Union Synthesizers, but I just need to get a synthesizer in my band. But he was recording the stuff, but only on his phone. He didn't actually have a way to record it, so there's no way to recreate some of the stuff he did.
Sure.
And then there was some stuff that King did with Paul, just trying to get some drum beats up and make it a percussive album. All these things failed. We did not get to do it, so they all came out on our own things. Gibby wrote a book. King has gone to the gym and looks great. And Paul, God bless his hips, he's done wonderfully and is relaxing now in Texas. And
watching some Judge Judy, probably.
His album was amazing.
It's great.
Out, and both of ours came out on Shimmy Disc. And so my album was called Grow a Pair, because the first half, and Paul even played on it, were songs that I was going to contribute to what was going to be Butthole Surfers. And then the second side, by the time we realized that we weren't going to do it, the second side was kind of me with other people with where I'm at now musically. And one of those songs I actually wrote in 93 that I played bass on. That's on the non-Butthole Surfers side. But it was going to be a Butthole. It was like a bass line that I just kept for many years.
Nice. Well, and you got a lot of folks. You got like Sam, who you played with in Hitmakers. That's on there, right? Sam
Which,
Combs
unfortunately,
awesome.
for John Spencer, that he didn't realize that leaving his name of the band up on outside of his dressing room door when we toured with them, it was very easy just to put one letter and to ruin the whole vibe of the band. Because if you put an S before Hitmakers, it kind of like ruins the whole vibe of what they're going for. But all of us, it's like an areola. All of us are shit makers.
Yeah,
And all
yeah.
of us have an areola. Some of
Exactly.
us-
It's kind of a little bit of a Zen exercise if you stop and think about it. It's like
Yeah,
depends on the night, I suppose.
But I think they're doing just fine. From what I hear, his new band is really fucking rad. He's got two folks with him that weren't with us when we were on the road.
Yeah, it
but-
was like Bobby Lee's, right? Is
Oh, is that who? Yeah.
Yeah,
No
it's my
wonder they're so good. Yeah, that was a good band. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So
Yeah.
what happened? I think I did talk to Bob for like a proper episode.
Burt.
Bob Burt, yeah. And did it kind of? I mean, what seemed to happen with Hitmakers near the index? Seemed like, I know I saw stuff like pretty early on with them, but like,
I'll tell you what happened. Bob's life went down the drain when they started making plastic radiators and plastic gas tanks.
That's right.
I was
Just
surprised
source
they didn't
those.
make them use a plastic hammer to boot.
Yeah.
But can you imagine being on the road and you're telling everybody I need a gas tank and a radiator?
Yeah, we got to go to the
That's
junkyard. What?
Yeah, they come at you with some brand new. It was cheaper to get a brand new plastic fuel tank.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was a talented dude and definitely experimental ahead of his time. And
Yeah, I love Bob, man. He's great. He came on for the 10th anniversary episode too. I did these little mini 10-minute segments. I don't know. I thought that was a good idea, right? And which is crazy thing. I think that was the last podcast Steve Albini did, which is like before he like died like the next like week, which is like wild. But anyway, sorry, that's dark.
Yeah, I don't know if we should go there. I got mixed feelings about some of that stuff. He was not a big fan of the Butthole Surfers. Talk a lot of shit. He didn't really know me personally, but he did say we were the worst people he ever met. It was a bummer that he had to say those things about us.
Yeah.
And like I said, he doesn't know me really. We met and stuff like that. And I appreciate very much what he did. And I appreciate a lot of what he did musically, especially I was a big fan of Big Black and I loved what he did in the studio. But boy, did he come at us with a vengeance when things came down. So
what do you think that's more because
I want to talk to about him at this point.
Sure.
I'm still dealing with why a guy who doesn't even know me would talk such mad shit about, include me into something that he thought was awful. We're the worst people in the world, but it does kind of upset me a little bit because I don't think he has the right to say anything about someone he don't know nothing about, and I don't have the right to say anything about him other than articles that he said stuff in. I don't really know if he was joking or what he was doing, or maybe he thought the shock value was cool. But
was that after the lawsuit with Touch and Go? Do you think, or was that before that that was all going down? I don't remember. I don't remember
the stuff
timeline.
he said about us was after the lawsuit.
It probably had more to do with that than anything else.
Of course it did. But again, for him to say the things he did with the following he has, and like I said, he's. We hung out. I ended up in jail hanging out with him one night, because, well, okay. So Butthole Surfers got paid not to play a show at the Metro, I believe it was.
Okay.
Because Aerosmith was playing that night, and they thought that the two crowds were going to interfere with each other. They paid us $3,000 in my memory to not play the show and gave us tickets to go see Aerosmith. And we had done an album called Jackofficers.
Oh, sure.
Back when Steve Albini liked us.
Yeah.
And he did a shirt for us. That was which was Oliver North on the head of a penis. And it said Jackofficers on it. A very wonderful, wonderful T-shirt. We were happy with it. We repaid him in a few ways, but one of the ways was we gave him back 5,000 fireworks that night after the show. We ended up in a van with him and Corey, and they drove us out to a secluded place in between, secluded by meaning it was in between about 4 apartment complexes, and lit off 5,000 fireworks while we didn't know where the fuck we were at. And so of course they all ran and cops came and got the rest of us. Guess who? The whole band. But so we ended up, and it was a longer story. I won't go into all the details, but it ended up in a holding facility in Chicago.
Oh man,
Uh, yeah, nothing. It ended up
disturbing the peace. Is that what they call that?
didn't actually. I was the last one to get let go because I was the orneriest at the time, and I will
Sure.
admit to that at this point. But I really, should have handled it maybe differently. But yeah, that was like the only time we actually hung out. Other times, it was just in passing and at shows or what have you. But we didn't like spend a lot of time with him. But for him to say it's in our documentary, it's like
Yeah, I really wish I could have seen that before we talk
calls us
next.
the worst people he's ever met in his life, and he wished he'd never met us, and
Yeah.
all that. And I'm like, wow, man, from him. Yeah.
That's pretty heavy. Yeah, you were in a Rape Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm pretty open minded, man. I just don't come at somebody when you got your own stuff like that. You don't want people looking at.
Right.
Yeah, that again, my opinion, a very unpopular opinion, and I'm sure that people will come to his rescue, and maybe he was just joking, and he didn't mean all that stuff he said. But whatever. It's unfortunate in my case because I'm 10 years 10 years younger than the guys that are in the band Butthole Surfers, except for King, who's 5 years older. Even though I look like the oldest one, but they had much more of a history in music than I did, and to know yes, it was just a bummer to see somebody that you appreciated their work come at you like that. But I'm sure he had his reasons, and he was taken up for what he thought was going on, and whatever. Forgiveness.
Yeah, I would imagine as more. I know him and Corey were pretty close, so it probably had a lot more to do with that than anything that you guys did.
Of course. Yeah,
but I feel like also the salaciousness. I mean, look at the Azarad book, right? We talked about that last time. Where is this like that chapter? I mean, I think you said it was.
I don't think any of that was true. I think I said that last time.
Yep.
I was not a very I don't know. He never interviewed any of us. I saw things I said that he said King said, and King said that I said, and that stuff I don't know where that came from. I guess now there's a thing now where people do books and they just they get money and then they reach out to everybody that might have maybe crossed path in a bathroom or shared a drink with somebody, and they take the quotes, and the quotes are the whole book, and they take that and make money off it. That happened to me with Scott Wheeland, who I thought was a really sweet guy, for the record.
Yeah.
And I was coming back from doing ayahuasca in Peru, and this fella reached out to me and I said he was doing a book on Scott and asked me if I had anything to say. And I said some really nice things. I had no idea he had died. I was down in Peru.
You're out of the loop.
All the news.
Yeah.
And I just said, man, what a sweetheart. I remember him just following me and my ex-wife Hannah around when we were walking and just singing Frank Sinatra and, just being the sweet guy, that's the way I remember him. But, again, I've been asked many times since then if I have any quotes about these bands. And now I know what's going on with the books. I do like James Burns's book, Go to Hell.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He was, he laughs when I say it's like Leviticus. He's very detailed in his. And
this one begat that one, and the other one begat this one.
And but he actually did his research, and he knows if I have any questions about my band's history, I would reach out to him because he knows way more about it than I do. Because I wasn't paying attention.
You were living it, yeah. It's got to be a trip to have a documentary, especially about a band like that. I mean, there were so long lived, so many activities, and it's got to be weird to have a documentary about you. I would have loved to have seen it, but it hasn't played anywhere where I can see it yet. So I haven't.
It's interesting. I think there's a lot of things that were. I think I think Gibby put it best. He said it was entertaining, but not necessarily factual.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to look at it. But that's probably the way most of the documentaries are.
Yeah.
There were things that were left out, and people that were left out, and things like that. So I think people get the gist about it, and there's definitely secrets that came out that even I didn't know. That
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. And I honestly didn't want to do it for a few reasons, and I got asked to do it after it was being made, because I was told there was a hole in the story of the band without me, because they do make it out like it's Spinal Tap with bass players in the band, and
right, but it's not exactly true.
They told me they were doing that. I just happened to have been in the band for longer than all the other ones put together.
Yeah.
And put a lot of my life into it. So I got how they could take that and make it light. But we were never about giving out credits when we were in the band. You'll never see names and credits on the back of the records.
Yeah.
And that's a mixed blessing.
Right, because some of them it's like you don't even have like the song titles, it says like the pictograms, which is great. But yeah, you don't know exactly. You don't know who to give credit for when you don't have credits. That's funny how that works, right?
Yeah, and mystery works great for you until you leave the band, and then nobody knows what you did.
Right.
So that's why it's a curse and a blessing. It's nice to know that we were. Like I go back to Paul Bear Bryant, Alabama's football coach. He had no names on the jerseys and tearaway jerseys, because you're on the team. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Ah, interesting.
In case you get a penalty, they got to know your number. But that jersey is easily ripped away, so you can go off and do whatever you want to do. And that was the blessing part of the no credits thing. And people thought we were in that John Wayne Texas funeral thing, and no, but I mean, sure, yeah. But
right.
But yeah, so I mean, the lack of credits thing, it kind of adds to a mystique. But honestly, and I say this, and I don't mean like the band was lazy, but we were lazy. We didn't have the Photoshop to put all the stuff on album covers, and we didn't do that stuff. We kept it kind of bare minimum, because that's really all we had to work with. We did one called the Texas Trip, and it was we caught a bunch of red ants with some packing tape and put them on a piece of white cardboard, and that right there, they were alive when they got to the people that were going to take a picture of it and put the name Texas Trip on it and stuff like that. So yeah, we were a couple of degrees off from finishing everything with the artwork, but always had a say in the artwork. Just not all the details.
Right, exactly. And the artwork, in its way, it's very. When I think of, when having to go to the record store to pick an album, like I wonder what that sounds like, right? Then it's like, oh well, that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, I'm thinking about like Locust Abortion Technician. We got the clowns and then the dog and like the feather.
Yeah,
and it's like, I don't know what this sounds like, but it should be pretty interesting.
I mean, I think you bring up something that maybe I think I'm a little older than you, but back when I was finding music, it was if you like what's on Alternative Tentacles, you're gonna get more Alternative Tentacle bands. If you like what's on Touch and Go, you're gonna get Touch and Go bands. If you like Roar cassettes out of DC, you're gonna get more Roar cassettes. It's not because you know the band; it's because you trust that they are the ones that are bringing you something that they think they like. So if you like what they like it. Nowadays, it's anything goes. Now you got you can listen to any band in the world on the internet. And yeah, I think that finally people found out that it's just possibly a little bit overwhelming to try and decipher every band on the internet. So a lot of people go back to people that are related to the bands they like because it's easier to figure that stuff out, you know?
Yeah, and then it's coming from a place that isn't like an algorithm recommended to you. It's like, well, I know I like this, so let's see what this is all about. Let's check this out. And part of like the extended family, and with all the Butthole Surfers world, like I feel like there's a lot of, it may not be for you, but it's going to be interesting, right? It's going to be something where it's kind of wild, and I think there's a lot of stuff, especially in your career, where like the Helios Creed stuff, great, that's awesome. I never would have known, because again, that was the kind of time where I barely knew who Helios Creed was. And be like, oh, it's a guy from Chrome. Oh yeah, Chrome. Chrome's great, I didn't know that's what that guy's name was. Why would I know that?
Yeah, when I did that band with Helios, which I love Helios, his music was truly inspirational to me. Definitely had a different way of doing business, maybe when you talk to folks who worked with him, but
Right.
Very big respect for him. And I do remember when I did an album, well, I did a couple albums with him, but where there was one of them, and he goes, well, he didn't really have a bunch of songs. So me and Frank from We Are the Asteroid, he played in Daddy
Right.
Longhead. We
Yeah.
went up there and we had like, I think we had 11 out of the 12 songs.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, maybe we should call this something different. And I looked at him and I go, why don't we call it Barry Johnson? Because that was his real name.
Yeah.
But he goes, why does everyone think that's so funny? It doesn't have the ring of Helios Creed, but Barry Johnson is an amazing musician, and I would say Half Machine Lips Moves, probably on my top 5 albums, maybe
Oh, yeah.
3 albums. It changed my perception of what an album could be, and how you could control the listening experience in shorter songs and segues, and being able to fart in a microphone and not make it like this is just a fart in a microphone.
Yeah.
It was musical.
I mean, it sounds like like a nightmare compliment. Where it's like you hear these weird noises and it's like, well, what is that? Like, well, that sounds crazy. And it at the time sounded out of time and still sounds out of time because it's one of those things where there's nothing that sounds like that. I've heard bands that kind of do a Chrome kind of thing, but as a record, that's nuts, man. It's a nuts record. And I mean, it's a
they were
compliment.
way ahead of their time. And I never got to meet Damon. But it was Damon and Helios and the 2 brothers that did Chrome, and he got to jam with the 2 brothers again and stuff. But yeah, he was, he came from a blues guitar background. As far as what he told me, he was just a blues player, and then he became enlightened in his own way. He also used to live in a bus in San Francisco. And,
Yeah, that's right.
And not have a problem taking a shit in a bag and dumping it in a bush on the street. So you got to give him some punk rock cred for that shit too.
Exactly. For that shit, definitely.
Yeah.
Literally.
That shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very unique guy. I had him on the show, some years back, and I characterized it as I felt like I'd gotten high by the end of it, just by the nature of the conversation.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Frank Gary Martin because we actually just played with We Are the Asteroid
That's right.
in Austin.
In Austin on that Monday at Hotel Vegas.
Yeah, Monday at Hotel Vegas. Yeah.
I don't know why I still remember that shit.
That's a really specific set of things to remember. I like that.
Sometimes I can't remember the things that are important, but at least I know when you played in Austin.
Wait, let's go. Yeah. Remembering the important things, exactly. Yeah. So we got pretty far afield of stuff. We started talking about Grow a Pair. So we mentioned Sam, right? It was on there. Paul's on there. Max Savino, right? Tall Trees.
Max Savino, Tall Trees. He's a big part of it. And I did an album with him on Shimmy Disc that was very Chrome-esque in an acoustic way. And
That's a Ponder machine, right? Is that right?
Yes, Ponder Machine. Yeah, because Kramer wanted us to have segues for 2.5 minutes in between other songs that we had written. So we went there in certain keys and jammed for 15 minutes, and he picked the favorite 2.5 minutes out of those jams. But all those jams on a cassette tape are there, and digital are there for all the 15 minutes. But he put those 2.5 ones in between our songs that we had written. He didn't really, I say songs, and you might have been able to tell him like songs, but he didn't want songs. He wanted, it was, I'm a very songy guy. I like to write songs. He wanted us to do not as much songs and to do some other stuff.
Vibe.
But we couldn't help but do songs.
Right. Yeah.
But Mike is an amazing player, amazing person, and he did a big deal on my Grow a Pair on the newer side. He played upright bass on it. He played some lead stuff. Just really, he's all go team player when it comes down to doing stuff.
Yeah, that's great. And it's great when you have someone that's like a utility infielder like that, right? Who's just going to be like, what we need to do, let's go,
Yeah.
Where do you need me?
I did have another fella from out here that played steel on it. Jed Boone Willis. He changes his name all the time. He's kind of like Cher, but if she changed her name. Jed Boone Willis on pedal steel psychedelic. Like we did it so quick when he jammed with me. He was like, I can't even remember the songs I did with you, but he did. He did a great job. We kind of just like worked on it as we went. And who else was on it? I guess. I had Walter from Austin. Now lives in Chicago. He was Big Walter Daniels. He went by Bigfoot Chester in Austin, but he played harp for me, and I had a guy named Mike Alford play some horns for me on it. I think Walter played saxophone for me too. But yeah, I just had this really nice crew of folks come by that wanted to help me throw down and find my world I was trying to find in the audio place. And the one thing I didn't want was guitar, and Paul was the exception to the rule.
Well, if you're gonna have somebody playing guitar, it may as well be one of the coolest guitar players of all time.
There's only one song he played on that actually sounds like guitar. The rest of the stuff has a different vibe to it, and he came in to do it with these ideas that were very abstract, and then I put them together, and it was he amazes me every time. I love playing with him. And other stuff that sounds like guitar is like some banjo stuff and pedal steel stuff. There was a D bender that was a B bender. I'm sorry, that was done by Jed on one of the tracks. I can't remember what it was, but I remember there was one guitar. But,
technically it's a B bender, right? So it's a guitar, but it's a special. We may have said this last time, maybe not, but I have a friend who has like the largest collection of B benders I've ever seen, which is to say more than one. But he's got like 5 or 6 of them. It's he really likes them. And
we got a lizard out here called the Hellbender.
The Hellbender. That's a tough name for anything, let alone a lizard.
It's actually endangered.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, but it's one of the Appalachian salamander family critters that's out here. But what a great name for the Hellbenders, huh? But there's got to be at least a couple punk rock bands that call themselves that after that animal. I'm sure it's been used a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Because, I was just out doing a recording I can't really talk about. I did mention some stuff to you, but finding a name nowadays is. It's kind of tough, man. Like you can go to a medical research magazine or book and call out the stupidest shit, and it comes from Columbus, Ohio, or from somewhere in fucking Vancouver or some fucking shit like that. But yeah, it's like really, really hard to come up with an original name. I had to make up one myself, but it's not in the running, I don't think, right now. But I came up with my own word that I kind of liked, but we'll see what happens.
Just write it down, man, because that's stuff's money in the bank these days. Because every band name has been taken like 20 times over, and I noticed like newer cats they don't even care. They're just like, I'll just use it. Okay.
Think about all the Hellbender bands before the internet. They were like, well, Hellbender, fuck yeah, man. My bluegrass band's gonna be the fucking Blue Cherry Hellbenders.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, man.
That's a South Carolina Hellbender. That's not the West Virginia Hellbender. You know, they're different.
I don't know if they got them in South Carolina, man. That's the lowlands town.
Well, and I think
old highlands.
But it's funny how that works because, yeah. And by the way, Hellbender, if you did like a B bender, but you like drop tuned it, twice, that could be a Hellbender too.
If you rocked it down to like minus G.
Yeah, and then you're like bending.
Hellbender, man.
Oh yeah, that's Pinkus. He plays the Hellbender. Oh man, that sounds like serious business.
Someone's gonna be 13-year-old. They're gonna hear this thing right now.
Yeah.
And tomorrow I'm gonna hit my feed on Instagram, and it's gonna be Boogie Van, some chick with a nice ass, and some guy with a fucking Hellbender guitar that goes down to G.
It's also like it's such a niche thing. By the way, for people that don't know what we're talking about, it's these guitars that have an apparatus. This is I can't remember who they're made for, but like it's a country music thing that you bend, like the strap thing, the strap nut. You kind of pull. You kind of like do a cool little move.
Push away.
You push the guitar away a little bit, and it bends the string. In this case, the second to last string, the B string. It bends it and makes it sound like a pedal steel. Basically, that was the idea, my understanding.
Yes,
and it's
I'm sure it's not the car; it's the driver. I mean, if you just give someone that, they're not going to know what the hell to do with it. But yeah, I mean, if you know somebody that knows how to drive all cars, they would know how to drive a B bender. I know the hip shot is why I said D bender, because they had that little invention.
Well, you could just change it. You pushed it and it changes. Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it was never in tune. It was great concept. But
one minor complication.
If you had an ear for tuning, you would, the amount of I mean, you could fine tune it supposedly, but I don't know. I just prefer to tune my shit down now, and then I got one of these pedals, super shifter that I love to use. I got two of them on my pedal board right now because I like two different settings, and that gets me like what I need for bending down if I need to.
Right, absolutely. Well, it's like with anything. It's like what finds what works.
Yeah,
you got to find what works for you. If that's what works, great. For me, I had this bright idea for our records. Oh man, I'm doing every record in a different tuning, and guess how long that lasted. And if you want to say the first tour, you're correct. Whereas like, nope.
I think Sonic Youth did that.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say if you got a guitar wrangler, handing you there's the one in F. This is great.
I think Kim Gordon can go 12 octaves, which I can't.
Yeah, it's excellent.
But no, that's what so like to be serious about it, because I love Kim. I'm just kidding.
That record she put out, like, that's weird as hell, and I mean that as a compliment. That's cool.
She put out was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was like, wow.
I agree. But to me, when I started playing and started, like trying to do this stuff that comes out your neck and your mouth and stuff, and
that Tuvan,
the words and shit.
Yeah.
So I tried to do that for a while, and it never came out right. And sometimes it would actually, like occasionally there'd be one. And I didn't realize there was this thing that sometimes you have your own like key that you sing in, and the key that that you find might be a better place for your voice. Well, it took me years to figure this out, but everybody was like, "Man, you sing a lot better now than you used to." I'm like, I know what key I can fucking sing.
Yeah, man. It sounds dumb, but that's very real. It's very real.
You're
like
not
naturally
a better singer.
there.
You're just not trying to do shit you can't do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you're getting a dog rather than getting a cat and putting a dog costume on it.
I always feel like a fish in a fish costume.
There you go. There's a record title right there.
Oh, my me. Does anybody buy records anymore?
few people here and there.
Yeah.
So all right, so
Put them on the walls and put a clock on them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever they do with it after somebody buys it, that's their business, right? You know, they can separate their weed. You know, that was a
Yeah, man.
popular
That's the
pastime in the
old
Neutron
house.
household.
Yeah.
My dad had me do it.
I don't even remember weed with seeds anymore, actually. Wait, do they make that anymore?
I don't think so, no, but yeah, it was. I saw a lot of that when I was a younger man. Let's put it that way, and it usually
Me
involved
too.
record covers.
Yeah, all the trash compacted stuff that used to come our way, it was all brown until we get to about fall, and then we'd have the green stuff, and it was still trash compacted with leaves and dog hairs and whatever they slept off the floor, but it was sweet, and that was the we called that the leather weed, man. It was just like, because you peel it off, and it was like a strip of leather. But yeah, now it's like ridiculous, man. In fact, yeah, I mean, I don't even know why people smoke those things.
Yeah, it's a different world now. That's for sure. It's a completely different world. So all right, so Grow a Pear, right? You know, this is the cool record. This came out like last summer, I want to say, right? Kramer mixed it and kind of mastered it.
We mixed it together. He mastered it. But
that's someone I'd like to talk to. I'd like to have that guy on, man. I'd love to talk to Kramer. I never thought about it till right now.
You know, if anybody would like to talk about Kramer, Kramer would.
Fantastic.
I'm kidding, man. I love him. He is so awesome. I'm so glad he actually moved here after working with me and Mike from Florida, and he fell in love with, like, he don't buy like real food. He buys like 50-pound bags of buckwheat and whatever, and makes these things called pancakes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I won't say who it was. Somebody very close to me that I married couldn't shit for 2 days after eating. But I don't want to say her name because then you all know who she is.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, gotta be real judicious in mentioning that. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
I'm trying to be. Yeah, I should have done that without being.
You're a gentleman.
Yeah. But yeah, he came out here. He liked the weather. He liked the food out here. He had places to go for that stuff. And his wife Val is awesome. She works on the label too. But he came out here and started doing what he was doing, you know, New Jersey and New York and Florida, and now he's doing it up here and embracing the noises and the sounds coming out of here.
That's wonderful.
And definitely getting into just his new album is it's called, what is it, Whisper? I can't remember the name of it, but it's really cool. It's just a overdrive drone with a visual backing that it's got on it. And I mean, I don't know how much weed I'd have to smoke to listen to the whole album, but but I'm sure I could find it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's your metric. Yeah, you have the technology, you have the willpower. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
love that he's out here and he's being part of this area and the musical growth that's going on out here. You know, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, it's really cool, and it's. I think you guys work well together too, which is good. I want to talk about Fungus Shui as well, which that was not around. Again, you just didn't keep on the grass last time I talked to you, and that was around the same time you moved to Western North Carolina. If I remember
that
right.
was the COVID time.
2021, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? I know that Danny Barnes is on that one too, right?
No, he did the first one. He did shoot me some artwork though for.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Sorry.
Cover. I really love working with Danny Barnes, and my first record, the Keep on the Grass, was.
See, it's been too long. I'm getting it twisted now. That's a problem.
No, you got it right. But Danny is, I mean, he's my banjo guru. He's my, if I was to ask anyone any questions or to look to somebody for some inspiration, it's Danny. His Barnyard Electronica definitely freed me up to feeling like I could do what I like to do. He was one that asked me to do my solo record for his cassette tape, Minor Bucket Records, which weren't even records. And then he let me put it out on a vinyl. but that was all recorded live with him and him being at my place, and also at Stephen Haas's place. We did some up there, but recorded live, and he brought it back to his place and did mixes. And there was not a single mix he sent me that I said no. He would spend one day to mix one song. He'd send it to me, and I was like, wow, that's what you heard. That's so fucking cool. And
That's
so
awesome,
when I did Fungus Shui, that was me by myself, man. And you know how hard it is when you're doing everything by yourself. There was not a single person on that record but me, except for my dogs. They were not people though. So you know, it was hard to tell when you're done with a song.
because you get really in your head. You don't have one to bounce things off of necessarily immediately, right?
Right.
Like even you sometimes you can even just tell like, oh yeah, did you like that? And then they're like, oh yeah, and you're like, you'll see a guy, no, you didn't. You're giving me a micro expression, like you don't like that. Like you thought that was okay, and we could do better than okay, you know?
Yeah, totally. And so yeah, being by myself and doing that was a totally different vibe. It was very freeing to do it by myself and to take all the time to do it and try these different things that I was doing. But there's a different vibe to the live one, which I play the songs probably faster.
Yeah.
Because I probably played them, you know, because they were one take songs. I probably played them more than I should have on some of them, and so you know when you lose track of how many times you played a song, sometimes you lose like a feel that maybe you originally had. But I listen back now and I appreciate it for what it is. But when I play the stuff live now, I play it more the way I hear it now.
Right, sure. Well, I mean, because songs evolve, right, and they
Yeah,
change, and they
totally.
can
And
they can
should.
change
And
back.
again, Steve Albini, who you know, I you know, like I just had to go through that, and I shouldn't have about him. But I always appreciated the fact that he said, you know, record, you know, because I know, okay, the reason why I say this is because I know so many projects that take so many years to finish one recording.
Right.
And,
That's done finally. Like what?
oh my God. So, you know, the one thing he said that really stuck with me that I appreciated a lot, being again, I don't really know him that well, was we're taking a picture, a snapshot of this song at this minute right now. And this is going to be, you know, how this picture turns out. You can always take another picture. You can. It's not the last time that song can be played. It's not. This is not going into someone's Bible. This is going to
Library
be
of Congress. Yeah. Exactly.
fucking just finish it. And if you want to do it again with fucking harps and fucking, you know, synthesizers, do it. As long as it's the Union Synthesizers, my new band.
No, and I think that's such an interesting way of looking at it too, right? Because you're thinking about it in terms of a song doesn't have to be like a house, right? Or it could be you can put an addition on a house, but like it changes. They change, and you can they can continue to live after that. They it's not like they're suddenly you know, like one of the insects frozen in amber that they bring back from like the Jurassic Age or something along those lines. You know,
such a beauty of the song spirit itself that when you put it with certain players, it's going to sound different. If I play a song with my band Honky, you know, Bobby's gonna do a lead that sounds like he's strangling a turkey.
Yeah.
I might want something different on a different take.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, it depends on, you know, who you're playing with and who you're making that picture with.
Well, and I saw you play a couple of the songs that are on the Melvins did. You did it with on Hold It In, right? And I've seen you play those songs too. It's like, oh, it's the same song, but it's obviously going to hit totally different because you don't have you know those dudes playing with you.
It is. I wrote it different by myself, and then I played it, and we did it together, and yeah. So and then we did another version for the five-legged dog one, and
That's right, yeah.
like they sent me like after I'd already done my own acoustic version. They sent me their version of acoustic, which was basically the live, like the acoustic version of what we were already doing.
Loud, but with acoustic instruments, yeah.
yeah. It wasn't really to me. It didn't enter into the form I heard in my acoustic brain as far as how I wanted to bring it out. and take it to a different place. It was just a representation using unamplified equipment, which I thought was cool. Again,
It is cool. That's a different way of looking at it.
Snapshot of that song, with different people, and what a beautiful thing to do. And I actually love, I love the Allman Brothers. I love the album from Greg Allman, Laid Back.
Mm-hmm.
It is a different picture of those songs done in a totally laid back way, so soothing to the ear, so easy to listen to for me. And of course I love his voice and everything. But I didn't have a hard time like going, oh wait, but this isn't the Allman Brothers. Listen to this version of this. And I would think that people would appreciate that if they like a song, that that if they're not going to do another version themselves, that they can hear another version of it and see a different take on what that song is.
Well, you're so right, because think about like Cheap Trick, right? They did I Want You to Want Me, and you listen to it on the record, and it's like ragtime. It's cool. Yeah. It's a cool song, but then you hear him like rip it loose on Budokan, and you're like, oh no, this hit's totally different. And then that was the one that was a hit, and that makes sense because it's like, no, it's presented in a very powerful manner by like a kick-ass rock band that's just going to town. But you listen to the original one, it's like, oh yeah, this sounds like it should be at a cabaret.
Learning it. It's like, I got this jam, guys. Let's do this.
Yeah, check it out.
And after you play it for a while, you're like, you hear it so many different ways, and so many different takes on it, and but there's no reason to feel bad about another take or any of that stuff. To me, it's like you should embrace the different versions of it. I think a song is its own entity, and it should not be just listened to in one way. I love hearing like really bizarre versions of songs that I've grown up to love. And I hope to hear very. I don't know why someone hasn't done a really crazy version of Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. That would be more like a Hick-hop kind of I don't know. I mean, that's the first one that came to mind. I don't know why.
I was thinking of, we were because I heard it on the radio. It was a rare moment that the radio was on rather than playing music that we wanted here. The Stroke by Billy Squier.
Oh,
I was like, how has no rapper sampled this or something?
Well, because of the sample laws, but if there weren't the sample laws, I'll guarantee you that song would have been picked up.
Yeah.
But I think
I'm not like a Billy Squier super fan or nothing, but I was like, oh, that's a pretty interesting sounding song. It's sort of like, and it's like got like a good rhythmic bass, and it's like so many ways you could go with it. It's like, I'm surprised. Maybe they exist, but I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard one, but you're right. That would be a perfect one to be taken to a different level with a lot of people. I mean, there was some ad on TV that I heard somebody doing Christmas songs in a hip hop thing. I was like, damn, that's pretty tight, man. I was like, I don't know. I mean, who am I to judge what's good or bad? I was like, I like that. I'm tapping my foot to it right now.
Sometimes it can be real cool.
It would not be accepted, but I'm not known for my big kick drums and beats and shit like that. But maybe.
But you could be.
Well, Jackofficers was close, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was kind of almost in the industrial sort of world, like what they call it with that, which that doesn't seem to be.
We called it Hick-hop back then, but now people call Hick-hop something totally different. I heard someone talking about all the because there's a lot of white rapper guys from the South that were doing shit, but ours was non-danceable dance music. So, but we just since we were in the South, we just called it Hick-hop, but. I get now why they call what they call Hick-hop. I don't think we're considered Hick-hop now. The Jackofficers.
Jackofficers,
I think.
Sure.
Yeah, we were kind of ahead of our time. Though.
Sure. It doesn't always get you anything, but
I don't want to say it. Yeah, no, we didn't get anything. Except arrested when I hung out with Steve Albini with $5,000. Now we all rounded this whole interview all the way back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we're right back at the beginning. Ouroboros. We up on it now.
Damn, how do you do this? You got some chops, man.
Was revisiting stuff in the documentary and whatnot, and kind of they go through the records and stuff like that. Was there anything that some of it's been so long, right? When I think about Locust Abortion Technician was like what, March '87. I mean, that was a while ago, and to see it all kind of laid out like that, whether they had a narrative in place or not, did it kind of give you any different perspective for the music itself, or like those times, seeing it laid out in the way that it was?
Yeah, but to me, I'm seeing more of the stuff that they left out and forgot.
Right.
And the missing years because of lawsuits and stuff like that, missing people because of lawsuits. And, a lot of the stuff, you're only going to get so much of the truth. But it was interesting to see it. But we're also seeing it through the lens of someone that wasn't there. And,
right. Yeah.
And we kept ourselves out of a lot of it. Me especially. Like I said, I'm not going to go into why I didn't want to do it for a while, but I ended up doing it. Had someone came down here and talked to me at the church right over there, and I did it. I did mine, and instead of a few interviews, it was just one interview, and I think that people will get out of it what they need to get out of it. Mm-hmm. I think it is entertaining. If they really want to know more facts, maybe read James's book.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of the way to go. Yeah. But then also, when I'm thinking about that band, and I'm a fan of, I think Independent Worm Saloon is a killer record, like almost kind of underrated as a '90s record. But I all my favorite Butthole Surfer stuff is all the stuff that you're on. Like that's I like the other stuff. It's fine,
Thanks. Yeah. Good. Well, I mean, there was a difference between, they were more of an art band before. Yeah. The time that I got with them. I was more of a rock player. I write songs. I write, stuff a little bit more structured. We wrote a lot of stuff on the road, whereas before they wrote stuff in the studio, and which was the beauty of it, was what came out. And this is my opinion of what came out from them doing their stuff as an experiment. And we experimented, but we also were touring a lot and living on, sleeping on floors and living out, right. For years, stay at someone's house until they're like, "Hey, I just talked to my friend in Jersey. They got you a show.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
Leave the house now."
Yeah.
So, we lived like that for a long time. So, but when we get to a place where we had a practice room, we'd have some song ideas and we'd do stuff that was a little different. Then when we just went to the studio, like Human Cannonball, mm-hmm. That was, let's go to the studio. Yeah. And we went to the studio and came up that song. And then the other song on the flip side that was supposed to come out was Butthole Surfers' Greatest Hits. And it was on one side of a 45. And it was every single song that was done up to that point. Uh-huh. It started with the longest song and then started the shortest song when it came time for it. But they were all playing together until it ended. I think it was about 4.5 minutes long or something like that.
Right.
I don't think there's probably copies of it out there, but that single, as far as I know, didn't make it out. But we used Human Cannonball on Locust Abortion Technician.
Right. Yeah, I remember it well. And I remember when I first heard it. That's like, I think the first time I was like, wow, this guitar player is real interesting. Like I was like, what's this guy up to? Because I had heard, obviously, like as someone that was my instrument. Like I was like looking around for people doing cool stuff, but that was the first time I heard Paul Leary like just kind of like, oh, this guy can shred. Jesus, yeah, like he's on his own level.
One of the most amazing musicians of any kind I've ever. The fact that I got thrown into working with him early on is that's just luck. But everything he does, he can recreate what he did in a way that nobody else can. He could take the stuff that was just an experiment, even if Gibby played something, he'd take it and make it into part of the song.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
he used to leave the guitar out for Gibby and have him walk by and just start playing something. That's how Graveyard, the song, happened. He wasn't even listening to the song. He just picked up the guitar because it was plugged in, walked by, and Paul hit record. And then Paul we did another version, and Paul played Gibby's version in the, we played it faster, but, did a version with Paul playing the guitar on it. That was, he's a amazing musician. All those guys are amazing creators, and girls, including Teresa, and
R.I.P. Yeah.
Cabbage, who wasn't mentioned in the documentary, and there's a whole big story that goes with her being in the band, and she actually joined when Teresa had left the band for a bit. But again, parts of the stories that were left out in the documentary that probably will be seen or read in the James Burns stuff, which they kind of used as a little bit of a guide to making this stuff up. But they didn't actually work together. So, and also there's only an hour and a half you can put in.
It's only unless you're doing like a streaming series, which, it's what they should have done with that Devo doc. And I know some people in that camp wanted that and some people didn't. So it's like, well, it's not so much you can do, man. I mean,
I watched that. That was a lot different than this doc. This, as far as the way this one's been made, Tom, the director, really, he came up with a vision for it, including, the fucking bass players being like Spinal Tap drummers. But he came up with other visions too of using puppets and trying to recreate stuff because there was no good footage of some stuff. And some people are going to like it. Some people might not. Yeah. The fact is, part of the reason why we were as popular as we were back then, I think, was that there weren't cell phones and there weren't people that could post our shit up. If someone saw us play a show in Detroit and we were heading to New Jersey, someone's gonna be like, "Hey y'all, you need to check out this band." They had this chick that was kind of dudeish but naked, and she had aluminum foil on her teeth, and it was upside down on these like steps, and then there was this fire symbol, and then there's this movie of this penis reconstruction shown backwards with car wreck movies, and by the time they finished trying to explain it, it's like, maybe you should just go and see it.
Yeah, maybe. Right, because in the act of explaining, you're like, well, I'm sure half that's not true. We're like, this guy's just exaggerating. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's hard to visualize. Is my point.
But what I'm saying is, like, the person being told of it is probably thinking that, and then they see it, and they're like, oh man, it's crazier than they said it was,
But I think that kind of was like more of a mystique that there wasn't the cell phones and the
I agree.
People couldn't be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. It's more of a word of mouth thing, and that was just a special time to be alive for music and to be around it. Everybody say living in the moment. Everybody was living in the moment, except for those couple weirdos wearing, whatever, bicycle shorts and have a fucking, 16 millimeter camera on their back, and you're like, wow, who's that guy? It's like, oh, I'm just documentary stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, weird. Okay. But then you're like so grateful that guy was around documenting all this. Right. Because, none of us were. I remember I got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles camera that put like one of those guys on each print that I had, and I just had people pick up my dog and take pictures of them. So I wasn't much of a videographer or somebody that was capturing the moment. I'm like, oh, it'll always be right here.
Right. Man.
Always. Yeah, I'll never forget. Yeah. No, I was wrong.
I think we touched upon. By the way, I've been told, because I had Steve McDonald on just recently, and we were both like, well, what did we talk about that last time? Oh, we shouldn't talk about that. And people are like, don't talk about it. Like, I wanted to hear it. I'm like, well, I don't like repeating myself too much, and that's the problem when I have folks back. I don't want to repeat it. But I know we talked about Psy last time. And we also specifically talked about the double live, the double, the one with the it looks like an alien, but it's Kathleen, I think, on the cover, right?
Double live.
Yeah, the double live one.
Kathleen, yeah.
The one's got the
Da.
right.
The shit lady. That's her name.
Was that? Oh, was it? Okay, all right. I did not know that. All right.
Hey, but that's on her, not me. I didn't call her that first, man.
Yeah.
She worked at a sex place, man, and in New York City. I always get the name wrong, so I'm not gonna try and say it this time. But yeah, she her thing was turning around and farting for people. It was like you put your quarter in and the screen goes up, and her thing was to fart for people, and then one of her farts came out a little bit more solid than the last one did, and the guy went running out and told the lady at the front what happened, and she goes, because she was the one trying to catcall everyone in, and she goes, we got black ladies, we got white ladies, we got yellow ladies, hell, we even got to die the shit lady, because she turned around and said, after she did it, she turned around and she didn't know what to do, and she went, ta-da!
You know what? That's a strong follow up. I gotta say. You know what else?
She's pretty. Yeah. I mean, you gotta know her. You should interview her.
Yeah, sounds like. She's in
the movies. You can get a hold of her. She
all right.
Far from me now. She's in a gated community.
Wow. I wonder if they know. Yeah, but that's a Psy is on there, the psychedelic song, right? It's on PO'd too.
Okay, yeah, PSY. You were saying Psy. I was like,
yeah.
Wait, do I know a guy named Psy?
Psy. Psy Sobelman. Yeah, he does great work. He's an actuary. Yeah.
Old manager for years.
Yeah. You don't know him? Oh, he's very professional.
Yeah, PSY. That was an ever-evolving song.
Yeah, I felt like, I'm not really a big Grateful Dead guy, but it feels like to me like that was like the dark star of like the Butthole Surfers world, right? Where it's it changes, evolves, it like does this, now it's doing this over there, and
we used to be good at that shit. We played all the time, and we didn't play the same set list all the time, and Gibby was really good at like I said, Johnny Smoke, being able to do something different. And PSY was different because we had no idea how we were playing it. We just did it, like knew how it started, knew how it stopped, and then we just kind of filled in the gaps somehow. But like Johnny Smoke, that was a pretty set song. We played that musically the same way, but Gibby always had different lyrics for it.
Right.
Yeah, he was really, really wonderful at even entertaining us, not knowing what's
going to happen next. Right.
Well, yeah. In all aspects, but
yeah, and it's something where I think that's a good document too of what the band was doing live, like around that time, which is interesting because I feel like it's something that not everyone was around to see that, or like even knew about it if they were around to see it. So that's kind of like nice to have that out and for people to see it. I had no idea about the cover. That's amazing. 'Cause all I knew, I was like, wow, what kind of alien is that? Because it's
to take the mystification out of it, we were really ahead of our time in trying to understand early Photoshop stuff and 3D imaging. And we actually hung out with a guy that worked with NASA that lived out in Texas that explained to us that the space shuttle was the wings were just to be toted on a plane, and that it was basically a rock, and it had a 1-to-1 drop ratio, which means 12 feet across, 12 feet forward, 12 feet down, like a pitched roof. It was like we learned from a guy that was. He enjoyed teaching us a little bit about it, but we did that with Widower Maker and PO'd, and then at that same time was the double live, and we made Kathleen's head twice as large as it was, and we took her elbow and put those elbows or the ridges on her back
Yeah.
And to demystify the whole thing, that was actually our early version of Photoshop.
Right.
And
I love it.
and people had no idea that we were high tech rednecks.
Right, because if you just don't know, it just looks like, oh man, this is some crazy like the truth is out there looking, like the stuff,
Yeah.
But it's well, and it's notable too because I mean that technology just was not. It's not like how it is now, right? And which is both good and bad, I suppose.
Well, now we've been AI. In fact, everybody was upset. The last live album that came out was from 1994, I think. I don't know. I really don't even remember the show, but it's called Live at the Leather Fly. And Paul worked his ass off to do that. And him and King did AI flies for the artwork. And like they worked to make the artwork look the way they wanted it to look, but neither one. Well, they're both artists. I mean, they could have drawn something or done something, but people got so upset because you can tell it's AI work. I get it. I don't use AI stuff on my personal stuff.
Yeah.
I've got a guy, Billy Perkins, like for all my solo shit. I like my shit to look like like people can see it in the store and they'll
Tactile.
know
Yeah.
they'll know it's my album, and so I got a guy because it was my buddy Red Volkart, best guitar player in the world. One time got interviewed in Austin by somebody that came up to him, I think from the Chronicle, and she goes after the show because his guitar playing is amazing. She goes, "Were you one of those artists up there?" And he goes, "No, ma'am, I can't draw a bit." And that's the way I feel about my own stuff. Like my wife is trained to do tattoos, and she went to school for 4 years and apprenticed, and been doing that shit for a long time. I mean, not that she's old. I'm just saying, a long time. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I've been doing my thing for a long time, and when I find somebody like Billy who's great at art, and I can ask him for some stuff like my he did my Keep on the Grass, my Fungus Shui, and my Grow a Pear, and I can tell him what I'm kind of seeing and what I'd like to see, and he actually physically draws the shit.
Yeah, which is great.
So but I understand some people don't have a budget, don't have the foresight, don't know the guy who can maybe do it for them, don't think it's worth it. I don't know, but AI, that's going to be I don't know. I think I remember my friend. I'm gonna say her name, but when the movie AI came out back like I think it was in 2000 or so.
Kubrick
like that.
started it and Spielberg finished it, I think, right? If I remember correctly.
So you know more about that than I do.
Yeah.
I just know that it was advertised around 2000, 2001 because of where I was living and where I was hanging with. And I remember her saying she wanted to see the movie A1. And I was like, what? They made a movie about a steak sauce?
Delicious, yeah.
Yeah, because some people don't want to put it on their steak at Waffle House. But I'm not one. I'm like, okay, yeah, bring some. I'll take some AI on my steak.
You see that movie A1? Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's a fine condiment.
Every time I hear AI, I do think about my friend and
saying A1.
The movie was called A1.
That's a cool. That Live at Leather Fly record's good though because that's got because if I remember right, it's got like Gary Floyd and Graveyard and stuff like that, but it's also got like alcohol and like
it covers a lot of stuff. And
Dust Devil.
I was like, why didn't we have Who Was in My Room last night on it? That night because like I said, I don't remember that night.
Yeah.
But he goes, yeah, I don't know, so don't know. But I do know there's a song on there called Negro Observer, which Matador did not want on the re-release of a Butthole Surfers album because someone was offended by the name of it. And so that's actually on that album. They said that it could be edited, I guess, like take the word Negro out maybe. But again, I don't know what's offensive anymore. To me, the song, I mean, I wasn't there when that song was written, but I never thought of it as like an offensive song. And there's nothing in the lyrics that make it offensive.
Yeah.
But just there are words that trigger people off nowadays. And maybe it was a little bit more a couple years ago. I think maybe people kind of.
That was like the nadir of that, yeah, where they were just removing an episode of a show if it had like a certain
And I get it. If it offends somebody, then I guess people that are working with you, they can't put it out on the label. People that are working for them have an issue with it, and that's what happened with that. They said it could either be edited or left off of the album, which one of my
it could be Negroni Observer instead.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of my favorite bass lines to play. I love Paul's guitar, and I thought Gibby's vocals are pretty, they're so laid back. I just thought it was a cool song. But then again, I'm ancient, so I'm of a place where art is art, and if you don't like something, don't listen to it. But don't make other people not listen to it because there's something that offends you about it. But
well, and that's on a record came out in 1984 too. It's sort of like it's literally coming up at a different time. I mean I don't know. I think people should be careful about loaded language and whatnot. But I think
everybody is nowadays.
I think it got way. Like, it got to the point of like, all right, are you looking for justice or are you just looking for catharsis on this? Like, it seems
I think a lot of it was, echo chamber stuff, as far as stuff goes, especially during a lot of the times of especially when we're all trapped in COVID and stuff. Everybody had nothing to do but get in echo chambers. But I do miss the anything goes. And if something's funny, it's just funny. And if something's good, it's good, and if something's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
But it's up to the listener to decide, not to somebody to be a gatekeeper on what you can listen to or not.
Yeah, and I don't know. It sometimes it feels like policing language maybe is not the most important thing in the world. It's like, well, why don't we actually provide some material benefit for people. Anyway, this is a different discussion. But
lucky for me, I don't even speak English, so I'm okay.
Tell me about
dialect.
Tell me about Hurdy Gurdy Man, because I heard your version before I heard the Donovan version, and like in retro, I have the 7-inch actually. I still got it upstairs.
All I can say is the funniest story about it was when Donovan's son was trying to make his dad listen to it, and our friend interviewed him. And he goes, "Have you heard the Butthole Surfers version of this song?" And he goes, "No, but my son tried to get me to listen to it." And he was like, "Well, I've got it right here. Would you like to listen to it?" And he had headphones and everything else. And he goes, "No, I wrote the damn song and I don't want to hear it." And good for him, man.
You know what? I respect that. Sure, man. Yeah. Absolutely.
I did kind of like our version, though.
I thought it was a good cover. Like I said, especially after I finally heard the original, I was like, oh, it sounds like them, but it's really not that different. The original.
It keeps it very. The only Paul says P instead of C, but right. For one line. But other than that, it's pretty traditional. I just thought we had some heavier tones for the time without being like a metal heavier tone. We just thought, my bass tone was tough. I held up acoustic guitars that were tuned to certain keys, open strings, just to hold them in front of the speakers to get them to resonate.
Ring out,
a feedback noise that was similar to the original recording. So there was some stuff that was fun to do. That was us trying to replicate some, the traditional version of it. But if I was, I don't really want to hear anybody do Butthole Surfers covers. Although I did hear some kids in Austin do a version of "Who's in My Room" last night. I can't remember the name of the band. It's Jason Morales' son, and from used to be in Tia Carrera, and they did a 3-piece version of that song that was so fucking rad. That's a
great riff.
I'm glad that somebody that was of a younger generation found a way for them to work it out. But man, they burned it, man. I mean, I was stoked to hear that. So I guess maybe I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah. It's just maybe if they're doing something cool with it, that might be the.
Maybe I'm just picky.
Well, so speaking of heavier orientations, right? Independent Worm Saloon. I love that record, man. I think that I once characterized that record as one long guitar solo, but I meant as a compliment. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause
It's a rock record. Let's just put it that way. It was a rock record.
there was some ripping that's going on all through that record. I know people that were pissed. They were like, "What?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't." And I was
John
like, "What are you
Paul
mad
Jones
about?"
didn't understand our other stuff. In fact, we had a 10-inch that came out with 4 songs that he was like,
Yeah.
don't know what to do with these. But we had fun working him on a rock record. And I think it was like 56 minutes, 52 minutes.
It's long,
of the record. And we worked in Marin County. Great engineer. We did 8 hours a day. We drank over $5,000 over our budget in whiskey. We used Fleetwood Mac 32 tracks, two of them, digital 32 tracks synced together. And yeah, I mean, the last people that were there were Linda Ronstadt and Keith Richards, 2 different sessions.
Wow.
So I mean, it was kind of a cool experience for us to go out there. We did 2 weeks with us and just JPJ doing pre-production, and then we went out there and did maybe 4 weeks of recording the album, and then we did 2 weeks of mixing. I think that's right. It might have been 6 weeks of recording, but I think it was 4 weeks of recording, 2 weeks of mixing, and it was an amazing experience. I won $80 off of John Paul Jones in a pool game that I invented. Yeah, like I'm gonna show you what the rules are, and I continued to beat him out of $80. But,
Fantastic.
and he was a lot of fun to hang out with until his wife showed up, and then he was still fine to hang out with, just not the same guy.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Same
sometimes
girl he'd been married to since he was 17.
Really? Wow. And that guy was in Led Zeppelin, man. Damn. That's
Yeah.
Well, he always seemed like of that group, he seemed like the one that was most kind of creatively focused rather than maybe on other things.
He had some great stories, and we did. He said we drove him to quit drinking the next time I saw him, and although he denies it kind of now, but I remember we went to see him. He was with Diamond Gallis, and went to that was at the Paramount, and then we went to his hotel, which he was staying at the Four Seasons in Austin. I'm sitting right next to him. Hey, dude. Yeah, I didn't do that. You know,
I've been guilty of doing that now and again. It's okay.
I was like, let me get you a Lagavulin, man, because that was his favorite scotch. And he was in the Scotch Drinkers Society of Bath, England. And he goes, now I'll take a Shirley Temple. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, I'll do a Shirley Temple. I said, huh? He goes, no, for real, y'all drove me to quit drinking. So I bought him a Shirley Temple. And since then, like in the documentary, he questions whether he said that all of us heard him say that, but I take it he fell off the wagon at some point.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And after that, and he's lots of good stories with him. We took him out to titty bars, drum circles. I'll tell you, he got an experience with us.
It sounds like, yeah, absolutely. Did you hear that band he did with Josh Homme and Alan Johannes and Grohl?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it sounded really ripping, but it sounded like they didn't have enough time to finish the songs. To me, it was like these could be really good songs, but nobody really took the time to arrange them. And
I think you could lose a couple of them and be just fine too. But
I mean,
but when it was good, I was like, this is.
I know.
Yeah.
I live in a shack behind a church with an airstream for water. So it's not like my opinion means shit in this world.
Well,
man.
the secret weapon of that record was Alan Johannes, who's a friend of the show and a friend of mine. And that guy, that guy's just musically, just a wizard, right? And
he was probably the glue that kept that whole thing together.
Yeah, absolutely. And but it was cool. It was neat to be like, oh, they're doing that with the guy from Zeppelin, huh? Huh, that's wild. Okay.
He is an amazing, he's just a player. He's just always been a player.
Great to
And
hear
so
Dave
he'll
Grohl
play
playing kick-ass rock drums too. It's like, oh yeah, kind of forget you're a really good drummer.
Yeah, good drummer makes a difference, man. Bonham wasn't that bad. Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right. It's getting good. Yeah. You had him play on Ballad of Naked Men too, right? If I remember correctly, didn't he play? He played
Remember
on
when that song hit #1 on the Billboard charts, and I was like, I can't believe the song I played banjo on has John Paul Jones on bass.
Yeah,
Recorded live right next to me when we did it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was quite a treat to have him. Actually, that was one of the only things he actually played with us. I had another song, and he wrote horn parts, but these guys he didn't think could play it, and he worked on this organ part for it. And I'm sure it's probably somewhere, but yeah, we didn't use that one. And he didn't really play on anything else I know of. Maybe he did all my bass tracks, and I just don't know it. But,
just went back and redid them all.
As far as I know, that was the only one he actually jammed with us on.
Speaking of Grohl, you had William Goldsmith on the show, who's great from a great Sandy Day Real Estate Assertion, great drummer. But he was in that band. He was in that Foo Fighters, that band, and he played drums on that second record. And Dave Grohl went back and redid all the drums himself.
What? Was it done
man.
a quick track?
Yeah, I don't know. I would hope so. I don't know, man. But the thing
I was wondering.
The thing I don't get is because he's got Goldsmith's got his own style, and it's like, well, if you didn't want that dude playing drums, like, why bring him into your band? And it's like, no, he wanted to Paul McCartney it up, I guess. I don't know. I mean, okay,
Well,
fine.
I'll tell you one of the things that not necessarily is a compliment that I will say is they've got their own style.
Yeah. They do. Yes, they do.
I really like what they're trying to do.
They have they got a couple songs I think are like really good, and then they got other songs too.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's the case with most bands.
Yeah. Your last song, you should have played that first.
Right, exactly. I mean, I threw on one of these records. I was like, "Is this Foreigner? What are we listening to? This is not. Is this the same band? Oh man!" But you know what? I'm not the target audience.
Yeah.
I bet it kills live. For all 5 hours that they play or whatever. Good for them.
That's like the Dwarves. They used to play for 20 minutes and be in a fist fight. Now they're like Bruce Spermstream and play for like an hour and a half, man.
My dad saw the Doors play at a roller rink that that was no, not roller rink, sorry, skating rink, but it was like they all the ice was not on there, so they had like cardboard down on all of it. And I was like, did they get through? Yeah, right. And I was like, asked my dad, like, did they get through the set? He's like, oh yeah, it was really good. Like Morrison was like really well behaved. I'm like, oh, that may have been the one time that happened.
No, I think it's like Lee Ving. I remember when he liked to be spit on, and then he decided he didn't like to be spit on. I think it might be the same for. I like to get into a fight after 4 songs, and I don't like to get into a fight after 4
Right. We'll see where the day takes us. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Right. So I don't want to, we talked plenty about Butthole Surfers. You left after a bit after Independent Worm Saloon came out. You did some other things. You certainly stayed busy on your own. You making lots of other records. Was it just time?
I was selling records like hotcake.
Fantastic.
So good. My career just took off. No, luckily I'm on good terms with all those guys, and I got to do all my experimental stuff. And when they wanted to do some other stuff again, luckily because we're on good terms, and they've never done anything that other than what Steve Albini is upset about. I'm sure they've never done anything to me that I'm upset about.
Right.
I love the guys. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for them. And for them to be asking me to come back and play after I was gone for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I started playing with them again. I can't remember what year, but But yeah, doing that stuff, and we just got to play a few songs together again. It might be the last time we ever play songs together.
I was going to ask you about that because that was something that I didn't have on the bingo card. You know what I mean? I was like, oh wow, really? That's really cool. Like, and then of course, first thing people are like, oh, are they going on tour? Are they all like, calm down, man, calm down. Let's.
No tour. We've turned down more money than I've made my entire life for just a few shows. So yeah, not going to be doing any shows anytime soon that I know of. They might find someone like Flea to cover for me. I don't know. They just haven't told me yet. But
he is a great player. As much as I don't care for that band,
I love Flea.
He's a good dude. He's a good player.
Talk all the shit you want about the Purple Imp Silly Peckers, but I love Flea though. I do love Flea.
That guy is an OG.
We hung out. I brought him out to Wimberley, Texas. He stayed at our place in Driftwood, and this is a long time ago. It's back when got ill.
Oh wow.
They brought him out to Wimberley, and I was like, dude, have you ever heard of NWA? He was like, no. I was like, dude, you got to hear these guys, man. And I got a cassette, and I had a cassette player in my Dodge 1971 Dodge Polara with the 6x9 speakers in the back. I spent $700 for the car and $900 for the stereo. Anyway, so I'm bumping that shit. Well, the trunk was huge, man. But I'm bumping this shit for him, and then everything that comes on, it was beeped out. Everything was bleeped out. All cuss words were bleeped out. So I'm trying to turn them on to NWA. You boo. Yeah, I was so disappointed. I'm sure he was too. But no, he was a super sweet guy. I mean, we went out there and a few times when they were at the Houdini house, we went to go see them over there when they were recording with Rick Rubin, and then we went out to Fleet. It was like, let's go out to a jazz club with my mom, and he had just got a Mercedes from the company that he had ordered, all different quarter panels and door colors, and on the back he had a Black Flag sticker. And that's what we took to the jazz club, where we sat there with his mama and watched this amazing jazz show at one of his favorite clubs. The dude is for real, and he's a super sweet human and a super talented person. And as far as the rest of the band, I'll leave it as Flea's a real super guy.
And there are also other guys in that band. Yeah.
And he plays with some other dudes sometimes.
Yeah, it's good for them. The people seem to like it.
Yeah, we had some fun shows together way back in the day, and we played the Club Lingerie with them, and that was when they were doing the sock thing.
Oh yeah, so was that Halil and Jack Irons and who actually played in What Is This with Alan Johannes, who I mentioned about 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
That's what
it was 1980. I want to say like 87, 88.
Yeah.
So it was that lineup.
Yeah.
We had one little small backstage room, and those guys were getting ready with the socks and stuff, But we had, since we was out in L.A., Gibby went out to a theater surplus house and got a bunch of Breakaway bottles. And this kind of became something that we did in the future. And so he poured whiskey, the sugar botters, sure. Glass, Breakaway.
Stunt glass.
So, stunt glass. And so to me, it looked so fake from our point of view. But he had like whiskey poured into one of the bottles and drank it, and then smashed it over someone's head, and then my head, and then King's head.
Yeah.
We're all knocked out, supposedly. And to me, it was the worst acting. None of us were actors,
Sure,
But the review the next day was that the singer for this band, the Butthole Surfers, knocked out his whole band on stage, and they thought we were serious. I don't know what they were on, Breakaway bottles they were drinking, but they thought it was actually fucking
Like
you know,
Alice Cooper or something. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
we was actually fucking busting each other's heads.
amazing.
Ours. But yeah, it was like, kind of like I'm playing. I'm like, oh, here he comes. Wait for this. Don't move too far. Yeah, there you go. Okay, boom.
Yeah.
And that's what's going through my head. I don't know what everyone else was seeing.
That's funny.
But like again, I haven't been asked to be in too many movies except for recording audio for softcore porn.
Well, that's quite the assignment. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hotel Erotica 2 and 3, Erotic Traveler, Cinemax. Look it up.
Yeah, you just call it Skinemax.
I think
or at
that's
least
the
we
only
did.
thing I'm in the IMDb for. Other shit, too. Everybody else use fake names. I'm like, man, I want all the glory.
You get the credit, man.
Yeah.
Probably last Butthole Surfers thing. Was it a trip when Pepper hit? Like, because I worked at a record store when that came out. And I was like, oh, cool. There's a new Butthole Surfers record. Oh yeah, cool.
Was that a trip? Okay, so for one, I wasn't on that album.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like when
there's no bass on that song. So they didn't need me the whole time. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
No, that was a big part of the reason why I was not really digging what we were doing at the time, because we were not getting together into a same room and playing together. There was different ways of writing stuff, and I was working with Ray Washam and Jimbo doing Daddy Longhead, and we're like practicing all the time, and I'm playing with these guys that can fucking play circles around me in every way, shape, or form. And just trying to be a better player. And then, the band that I've been doing that with for years and years didn't want to get in the same room with each other and work on songs. So that song didn't really surprise me. I mean, how can I not be happy for the guys for getting a hit and for making something happen? They shared. When I joined the band, they had already been a band. They shared everything with me and King and Teresa and Cabbage when I was around, and Tada. We did everything together. So it makes me happy to see them get a payoff of that kind. Me personally, not the kind of music I was listening to. I do love Paul's lead in it. And Paul says, I guess in the documentary, I didn't know much about it, but in the documentary, he had one shot at the lead, and that was what he did.
Oh, and that's what he came up with.
And so, he had been sitting there because they were doing the rest of it all day long, and he just sat outside, and they said, oh, we have time for maybe like one take, and he went in there and busted that lead out. And again, classic Paul, and what a genius, and
shreds.
And Gibby is a wordmeister. He's always been one that can put stuff together and out of thin air can make some stuff happen, and you visualize what he's saying. He takes you right there.
Theater of the mind. Yeah.
He's So I mean, it's a bummer for me that like who was in my room last night. We were on Capitol. And John Paul Jones promised us a gold record, and it might have been a gold record, but we'll never know because we had a falling out with Capitol Records. I had left the band at that point. There's no real accounting for anything that happened there. It's so
catchy too. And then there was even the what was Goofy's Concern, right? Was in that was it a video game?
Yeah, but that said fuck over and over again.
Right, but they managed to find the 2 seconds that doesn't have the word fuck in it, and they made it, and they looped that for this. I don't remember what, Sega or something. It was like some commercial because I saw it all the time. I was like, that's Butthole Surfers.
They used Who Was in My Room last night for Sega.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, sorry, my bad.
That was the one, and bringing back memories. But I from the Boredoms, he made a lot of money from doing their main theme song, which was Sega.
Oh, that's right. Was that him? Really?
I from the Boredoms.
That rules. I love that.
Isn't that the best, man?
Wow, that's
like Butthole Surfers had to do a whole song called Pepper, and all he had to do was say Sega.
Yeah, and it's got its place in history.
And we all know that, you know. Well,
We all know it, yeah.
Us of this age group.
Even if you don't know the video games, you know, we all remember that. I mean, how can you
Yeah,
forget that? Yeah.
Yeah. Pepper is what it is, and they kept trying to chase that high, and
Yeah.
I don't think they could find the right dealer after that. So
Didn't work out. Yeah.
unfortunately, Pepper will just one for the books, man.
Well, it's just one of the weird that's a hit, huh? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know,
But
you can do
once
worse.
you do one of those, the record label wants you to do a lot of
Yeah,
them.
can you do like 10 of those and that'll be the record? And like, okay, well, that's
There's
not how
one
this
that,
works.
see, Kid Rock actually sampled some Sweat Loaf from Locust
Locust
Abortion
Worship
Technician.
yeah.
And so my bass line is actually on, from what I know, I haven't actually heard it, is on a Kid Rock album. And I think it's under the name Pancakes or something. Like everything's got like a food title. And since he ripped that off, then instead of paying for it after I was out of the band, Kid Rock did a song with, well, I would say the guys in the band, but it was really just with Gibby. And it was called, I think, Shame of Life was the song. And again, that's in the documentary, and you can hear how Paul feels about it. But they would like to deny that Kid Rock was ever part of Butthole Surfers. Fact is, he was.
It's a stronger claim than Moby being in Flipper, that's for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Pinkus, this has been great, man. This has been so cool. I think it is now announced that you have a tour coming up with the Clutch fellas, right?
That is correct. I'm so stoked that I get to announce it finally. Clutch has asked me. I thought that it was like a "it's not you, it's me" kind of breakup from the last tour I did with them, but lo and behold, they reached out and wanted me to come out with them again.
That's
so
awesome.
so I get to go out with them again, and Corrosion of Conformity, which are my boys. A couple of them I've known for a long time, and of course Bobby's and Honky. And so to be on the road with him, even though we won't be on stage together, I might change that if they'll let me. I have a very short set to do, but I hope I can get maybe Bobby out for a song just so we
That'd be
can do
great.
something together.
Yeah.
We're doing a different market than their A market. This, in the industry, this would be considered a B market tour. So hitting some towns, that are less press worthy, like say Midland, Texas.
Yeah. I was like Midland, huh? Okay. Wow.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, they gotta listen to music too, man.
Oh,
What's wrong with you?
Man, I may be from
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's absolutely a second tier market, but I grew up in California, but I grew up in the Kansas of California. I'm from the Central Valley. Ain't nobody ever came through. It was like Sacramento was the big city. I was
in Atlanta, man. It took us 4 years to get JFA out there. The first time we heard him. I mean, we got every band that came down was from the East Coast, DC area, maybe New Jersey. Whatever, but every band was like STD, DI, GI, Marshall.
They got all
Scream.
letters.
Hey, man, we're talking about some Dave Grohl, Scream.
Yeah, that's right.
We got all that Cause for Alarm. I might have said that already. But yeah, all those bands that they were the ones that came down. But it was very rare that we got. I remember when Circle Jerks first came through. I remember when JFA came skateboarding. I remember when TSL took a limo to come out to the Metroplex, and we were all like, what the fuck is this? Because we'd never really been from the airport to the Metroplex, and it was actually cheaper probably to take a limo than it was to take a couple cabs.
But
to us, we were like, what the fuck, man? Taking a limo? Jeez. But now I know. I'm a little smarter now. Just a little.
That's you're playing one of the shows one of the cities that tour is going through is Sioux City, Iowa, where Mindy's from.
That's right. She is from there. Mm-hmm. I love Mindy.
AKA Sewer City. That's what everyone calls it, including folks there. Because
I've never called it that. I just want to tell all you people out there in Sioux City.
Well, there is a smell. They're not wrong about that. Oh, yeah. Well, She warned us because we played there twice now. And the first time she was like, hey, by the way, there's a little bit of a smell from the rendering plant.
So if I'm gonna skip a shower on that score,
That would be no one would be the wiser, my friend.
okay. This is the stuff I need, man.
See, I thought Sioux City was great, but I thought both shows were great. But that first time, I was like, "Oh yeah, is there?" And then it hit me like a wave up. Oh my god, yeah, that is definitely. And I guess they make like dog food or
Sometimes you don't know if it's like the club or like the person that's like three rows back.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like,
somebody
shit themselves, man.
sewer main or
a
just
show
poor
that-
hygiene. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a show we really thought someone shit themselves, and they're like, "No, it's a septic." And we're like, "No, I think it was that dude right there."
Right.
Hey, I don't know if that's grounds to throw someone out. If they're not violent,
Yeah, it's like, well,
can you throw them out?
it's not really hurting anyone.
Oh yeah, it is. But
Y'all factory.
well, I don't know. I'm seeing little molecules that are shaped like little tiny turds, and they're all floating into my nose, and I'm digesting those, and my lungs have to deal with those. You know how much crack I have to smoke to get that out?
This has been quite the turn. I'm so glad we went this way.
I know. We were saying bye. Now
I know. I thought we were closing it out.
Yeah,
Here we
all
are.
right,
It's
yeah,
a little bonus for y'all. No, it's great. So I'll put a link in the show notes so folks can go check out that. It's called Suffer No Evil U.S. Tour 2026.
That's right.
Clutch, Corrosion, Conformity, J.D. Pinkus. Looking forward for that for you. Last thing, man. This is the only canned question I ever asked. I don't remember if I did this with you last time or not, but you can choose to interpret it however you like. Only canned question I ever ask. Why do you do what you do?
Okay, now that's a stupid question, because you know how old I am. Who the fuck's gonna hire me to do anything else?
Yeah, fair enough. There's no wrong answer.
That doesn't mean I'm gonna be successful, but there's no other option for me.
J.D. Pinkus, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Conan. I appreciate you, man.
See you down the road.
And we talked for a while, didn't we?
We sure did. We get the award. We get the Talkers Award. It's like the Rolling Stones logo. It's just a mouth.
All right, brother.
All right, take care, man.
Thanks for taking the time, man.
I always appreciate you. Always welcome. Take care, man. There he goes, J.D. Pinkus. What a cool guy. Yeah. So let's we're gonna hear something off of Grow a Pear right now, and we're gonna like it. We're gonna get through this as a family. God damn it. Let's hear 16 Hands High.
Follow me.
There you go. It's a little J.D Pinkus, 16 hands high. We'll grow a pair, P-E-A-R, like the fruit. You understand? You can find that on his Bandcamp, as well as anywhere you find your greater weird records. So jdpinkus.bandcamp.com, jdpinkus.com for all things Pinkus. Most things Pinkus, maybe. Cool. So I'd like to thank Pinkus for coming back on to this show. It was great having him. Hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. This has been Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. Thank you so very much for listening to it. This show airs Thursdays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, always live. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. Podcasted later everywhere. Podcasted everywhere later. ProtonicReversal.com. For all the archives, get it wherever you get your podcasts. But if you like the show and you want to get episodes sooner, $1 a month at patreon.com/Protonic Reversal. Gladly achieves that goal, helps keep the lights on to this joint, and I appreciate that.
Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea.
Thanks everyone for liking, subscribing on your platform of choice, leaving a review, sharing around. All that helps people discover the show. It's just a darn nice thing to do. Deep appreciation for all that.
50,000 watts of power.
What else? I think we got another 4, 5 episodes maybe for the end of the year. So it's going to be a busy month. Most people take breaks around the holidays. Not me, apparently. But, yeah, should be good stuff. Stay tuned for all that. End of the year favorite records episode, too.
Turn sound into electricity.
Can't do it on YouTube, so notable. Anyway, stay safe out there.
You hear me now?
I'll check you later.
Out on Route 128, dark and lonely. I got my radio on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Welcome to my top 10. I'd like to thank our sponsor. But we haven't got a sponsor. Not if you were the last man on Earth. She was prepared to prove it. This one goes out to a special girl. But there is no special girl. It's the end of radio. The last announcer plays the last record. The last what? Leaves the transmitter. Circles the globe in search of a listener. Can you hear me now? Is it really broadcasting if there's no one there to receive? It's the end of radio. As we come to the close of our broadcast day, got my radio